republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. Roll call.
Counselor Crum. Present. Counselor Matthews.
Present.
Counselor Coast. Here. Counselor Chamberlain.
Here.
Counselor Allen.
Here.
Counselor Sturts.
Here.
All members are present. We have a quorum.
Motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved by Counselor Allen and second by Counselor Coast. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Counselor Coast.
Yes.
Counselor Sturts.
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain.
Yes.
Counselor Matthews.
Yes.
Counselor Crum.
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Names of individuals wishing to address council. There's none down there, but Aaron's here and he's going to give us the update on the July 4th festivities.
Okay, July 4th activities at Biddle Park will consist of a home run derby, a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and a closest to the pin contest. The 3-on-3 tournament, depending on how many teams and age divisions we end up with, that will determine on our starting time for that. The home run derby and the closest to the pin contest, those will be more in the evening time. Closest to the pin will be from 8 to 9, and home run derby will be from 6 until 7. Also, we will have inflatable games for the kids out there in one of the outfields from 6 to 9 p.m. And the concession stands will be open. We'll have a lot of different things this year. We got a couple other vendors coming in that are going to set up as well and hopefully move the lines along. So those are some of the activities we have planned so far. I'll be working with the chief on opening times of when people will be allowed to get in the park and those types of things.
Questions, comments?
Are you gonna plan any like sand volleyball tournaments in the future,
We had a couple calls for interest on that, but it just doesn't seem to be one of the more popular things or something that we get a lot of questions about. So if there was more interest, we definitely would do something.
But Heather, that's not to say you couldn't take in charge and spearhead that.
or in my spare time I'll do that, right? I've just seen a lot of people out there on the courts lately, so I
Okay.
just wondered.
Yeah, there are. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
We've had a couple calls about a league and some things like that, but there wasn't, it's just 2 calls, so,
Maybe those people know people.
yeah.
They
maybe
run in
can
the
get
same
it around,
circles.
so.
There is something to be said about soliciting interest rather than sitting back and waiting for interest. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Are you going to restrict the age limit on the home run derby this year since a 62-year-old stepped up and won it last year?
We do have a 17 and up, so.
So that certain individual that won it last year might be able to step in there
He
again.
can defend his title.
Okay,
Like you won it now?
yeah.
He was setting up the tee though.
You better start eating that.
Yeah, I don't know if I got the strength this year or not to do it, but
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Okay.
Thanks.
Fred, do you want to highlight how the fire department's doing their fundraiser?
We are coming along, but we definitely need a lot more money.
thank you.
It's not coming in as fast as what we'd like to. At this time, we're approximately $9,000 short at this time.
If they want to donate money, who do they donate it to? Where's
Reach
it go
out to the
through?
Wauseon Firemen's Association and send it to the fire department. If you're up here, just drop it off and get it to one of the firemen. They'll put it in the treasurer's drawer. And if nobody's here, give it to one of the gals at the water office.
Thanks, Fred.
Yep.
Committee reports, park board.
We had a park board meeting June 11th, and the primary topic of this meeting was to invite a couple of residents, Gloria Gunn and Bonnie Greaser, in to talk about the musical instruments that are located in Imagination Kingdom. They have been a source of, I guess, discussion, thank you for that word, and have created more noise than what was originally thought, perhaps by some of the neighbors. And so the discussion that happened was just to bring everybody together and see if there could be a resolution that we could come up with. Dave went down and he did muffle the musical instruments. There were two in particular that really created more noise than originally intended or originally thought. And so after the muffling of that, I think most of the park board members went down to listen and see how well that worked. And I haven't had any conversations with anybody but park board members, and they all thought that really took care, it muffled quite a bit of that sound. I actually sat in my car with the windows down and I couldn't hear it in my car, so, and I didn't have my music going or anything, so hopefully that will take care of that. Any questions about that? We had another topic that we discussed. We have been working, Shane and I have been working on some policy for the shelter house rentals. And we just let the park board review that real quick. We are not in a big hurry to get that done because it won't take effect until January, so we reviewed that. There were a couple suggestions. We'll go back and we'll look at it again at the next park board meeting, so I think that was it. Oh, one thing I did want to say, the monument, they voted to put a monument in front of Imagination Kingdom, a stone monument for the major donors, and that was approved by the park board. So I guess we'll need a motion from
Wasn't that on
council to approve that.
Wasn't that on the original press?
They had, I think they had something on the original prints. I don't think they had the picture of this actual monument, but it is a stone monument. And where it sits, it's gonna sit to the right of the entrance to Imagination Kingdom.
To answer your question, Jeff, there's never been a streetscape view of this whole rec area. So it's, every time they come up with something, we gotta sort of explain it as to where it's going, where it comes from, so.
In that view that we've never seen, it's also been a point of frustration for Gloria and Bonnie. It's one of the things that Leathers held on to pretty tight because that's their business, so they never really gave that sort of intel up.
Tim Sepsi was also here with Wings Over Wauseon. And he is still trying to raise funds, but they're not gonna have their two major singers. They're gonna go with more of the local band, so the show will still go on, they're just gonna have the local bands.
Okay. Need a motion?
I make a motion to accept the park board's recommendation for the placement of the stone monument at Weird Park.
I'll second that.
Motion moved by Counselor Chamberlain and second by Counselor Sturts. Is there any discussion? Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Sturts?
Yes.
Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Counselor Coast?
Yes.
Counselor Matthews?
Yes.
Counselor Crum?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
On to department head reports. David, you first.
This Friday, June 21st, is the state deadline for the Community Development Block Grant Allocation Program applications to be submitted. City of Wauseon is applying for some set-aside funding for downtown revitalization. Getting that application prepared for that submittal. Going to in front of county commissioners tomorrow for a resolution for agreements for the commissioner president to sign those applications, final paperwork, so we can get those submitted. Hopefully that will all go well, and I believe City of Wauseon has a good chance to get some funding for downtown revitalization going into 2014.
And what would that do for us then? Is it passed on to the merchants, or is it a percentage of it or something?
Some of it, there's a total of $300,000 that's available, and we're pursuing the total $300,000, which includes match. It's gonna help some of the stakeholders downtown. There's a downtown targeted area. So any code enforcement issues that need to be updated, any facade issues, those activities can be funded through this program. Also, some streetscape issues, ADA compliance, things of that nature can be funded also.
We had a meeting, didn't you guys host a meeting where vendors, local downtown vendors could come and learn about that?
Yes.
Was there any participation in that?
Yes, I think we had probably about 10+ individuals,
Oh, great.
10+ property owners that.
Were
We
interested?
actually got a larger turnout than I think what was expected.
Great.
So we've got interest.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's a great advantage, Shane, for the building owners that want to jump on board and put some money into their business, so, or their building. So it's an opportunity,
Yeah,
it's free money if you want to match it, so.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that there's that turnout.
Yeah, it's an actual, it's the most opportune time, I believe, to.
Is
to
it
jump
basically
on
a
board.
dollar-for-dollar match, is that?
It's a 50-50 match. I mean, obviously, over 50 is gonna look more favorably to the state grant dollars, so.
All right, Chief.
Passed out just before the meeting a copy of the evaluations that were given at the self-defense class that we had on June 6th. We had 22 people registered, only 14 people actually showed up. We had a few late-minute cancellations. All in all, I think it went over very well, very positive reviews on it. Lieutenant Roof is also doing one for the Youth Advisory Council tonight, about 30+ kids out of the health department. Safety City, just give you an update, we had our first graduation for week 1 last Friday. Also, we have met all our funding needs. Parkview Physicians Clinic and VFW came through at the last minute and took us over the top, so I really want to thank them for their donations, as well as all the other donors. A list of it, I believe, is going to be in the paper, so if you see any of them, please thank them. It keeps us from having to raise the fees for the following year. We are having in regards to the park board, we are having a seller server training for Tim Sepsi for the Wings Over Wauseon this Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30. That's also open to any other festivals. We've put the word out to Delta. They have a couple of festivals coming up, and anybody else that needs that training. It's free. It's going to be up here this Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30. And lastly, last Saturday we did a full-scale exercise with IAC. Wanted to thank IAC for their assistance in it. All in all, I think it went over very well. We had a refreshment issue right off at the bat, but Heather took care of that. And all in all, I think we did a pretty good job. The initial critique wasn't too bad. We got a few areas to work on, but that's what we do it for, is to train and learn.
Thank you. Tom?
Just in time.
Well, I just got done with my last customer at the windows. Well, basically, we're just moving forward, mowing grass, doing other things. Nothing really new to report. No new businesses yet. So.
Tom, the pool hall guy uptown came in and talked to us a couple, 3 months ago, said he was gonna open up a pool hall. Is that, have you heard?
He filled out the paperwork for the grant, Mario. So he filled out an application that said he's gonna put so much money into his building. One of the last ones we got, so.
So it's not dead in the water? I mean, it could
No.
happen.
Dennis?
One noteworthy thing for this meeting. In our budget for this year, we have not put in any road resurfacing dollars, focusing all of our efforts onto the resources that getting ready for the Linfoot Street project is going to take. We were contacted by the Fulton County Engineer's Office and asked if we wanted to participate and cost share in part of their paving program. And the part that touches us, they're going to do a stretch of County Road F, which is Linfoot Street as it comes into town. They're also correcting some drainage issues that are very near to our border and in some cases adjacent to it. So we supplied some catch basins and things like that to cost share, and we are going to use our permissive tax dollars, which the county keeps. They collect every time a city resident buys a license tag for their vehicles. A few bucks of that fee goes into this fund that we can use for any road project in town. They call it permissive tax because we actually have to ask permission of the county engineer and ultimately the county commissioners to use the money. So I've talked with Frank, and he's willing to let us use that fund to go with our share, which is estimated at a little over $64,000. But it will, again, help take care of some drainage problems and resurface the city limits out on the west end back to the intersection of Enterprise. Also part of that, we've worked with Wauseon Machine of late. They created a truck dock on the north side of their original facility, Plant 1. And when trucks are backing in there, they're off the pavement on the north side. So the pavement part of this project will be widening out the pavement so that those trucks can stay on the pavement. That's all.
Thank you.
Mayor, any idea on the painting of water towers?
I am out for proposals on that. I have engineers working on proposals on that.
All right, good. Thank you.
Jamie?
I have nothing new. Our revenues are still increasing. We're still within budget.
Tom?
Working on a number of projects for each of the department heads. David and I continue to muddle along and making sure grant funds are properly brought in for a particular piece of property in the town. Working for several projects for Chief Torbett right now. Some real estate matters for Tom. Working on the easements for Dennis on the airport highway property. Those are coming along well. And then also, I guess, should mention that we completed the review, Tom Hall and I, of the suggested revisions by Glenn Grisdale on the pride preservation section of the code, and I think that's ready for committee to take a look at. So I'll be happy to sit in on that meeting when the committee decides to review those.
Thank you.
That's it.
No first, second, third reading, new business?
That agreement we put into place with the Air Force, mutual aid, we used those guys yesterday morning down at North Star Steel. So, wasn't in effect according to the July 3rd, but they know it's there, so.
Yeah. Good.
And Karen, you mentioned something about safety and code, didn't you?
Yeah, well, remember we talked about a long list of things that you need to meet about, so I was just gonna ask if you wanna schedule that meeting.
Yeah, I forget who was supposed to be here, that's why.
You?
Well, I know that, but.
Shane,
I
you
never
say
said I'm thinking whether department heads that was.
Yeah, you're gonna want Dennis.
Pretty much all of us.
Pretty much all
Yeah,
of us,
just about
Jeff.
all of them.
What are the issues?
That was Thursday, how am I supposed to remember?
Yeah, really. I don't have it with me. I don't have the list with me.
Well, it's the revisions that Tom just mentioned.
Right.
On the code, we're changing that to match the downtown grant.
And
Parking issues.
Parking issue.
parking.
Where's the parking issues at?
Park rules to codify.
Yeah.
It's a park.
rules.
Seems like there was something else.
So,
Speaking of code, maybe you guys can answer off the top of your head, if not, we'll research it. And what's the code on open burning in the city? No? No? Okay.
you can have campfires.
You can?
As long as it's a cooking fire, I guess I'll.
Yeah.
As long as you can.
And I believe,
Cook on it, yeah.
Fred doesn't,
Marshmallows, that type of deal.
Fred, doesn't the EPA consider open burning 6 AM to 6 PM, so if you're gonna have a campfire type thing, it should be after 6 o'clock at night, I
We
believe.
have a hot dog close by.
Yeah,
Doesn't it say something about a recreational fire?
yeah, recreational.
And I
So
thought-
not necessarily a cooking, but a recreational.
And I think it has to be 25 feet from any structure. There's a lot of people in this town make a mistake with
I
that.
started out 25 feet away.
It creeps.
Hey,
So,
how's this going?
The list,
Third-
the list of things that you need is in the minutes from the committee of the whole meeting.
Oh,
About Thursday, or after the next council level meeting, will that work for,
27?
is that soon enough? Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
When
work
did you
for-
say? When was it?
27th is our next committee of the whole.
Oh, yeah, right afterwards?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
so what, about 8:20?
Hopefully 8.
15.
Probably
8.
Hopefully 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Just for you viewers, I mean, the fire department still needs money for their fundraiser for the 4th of July, so if you're willing to give funds, you know, contact one of the firemen, they'd appreciate that. It was a great show last year. Moving forward, motion to approve the bills as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made by Counselor Coast and second by Counselor Matthews. Counselor Coast?
Yes.
Counselor Matthews?
Yes.
Counselor Crum?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Counselor Sturts?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Counselor Crum and second by Counselor Coast for adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Well, that's what the people say they can't speak English, and then when you're all done,
Yeah,
she's
resume.
walking out, she was thinking.
That's what I love.
Eagle.